So we started on Monday with a crazy low float mover, YTEN. This is a stock that we traded in the past before. The low float former runner, it's still a piece of company, but if the momentum is strong to the upside, there are long opportunities. Did I catch the entire move all the way to the $9? No. I was long here, and sold into $7 just because it's a sketchy penny stock. It's kind of hard to long this kind of crap, especially when I took a small loss already pre-market. Pre-market, I was thinking we're gonna get immediate follow through. Didn't work, just have to cut it. And pre-market size is always small, and that gives me the head space to re-enter it long later on when we start holding 680s area. Once it breaks out and retesting the highs, that's where I start getting interested in shorting the stock. Shorted some here, $8. When we didn't flush, I was looking for immediate flush down to 740s. When we didn't get that, I just want to make sure I get out. So, covered for tiny 20 cents, and good thing I did because it ripped all the way to $9. $9, if you look at the daily chart, lots of wicks in this $9 area, and the same as upside to $9.60s and then $10. And that's why up here in this area, that's where I'm interested in a short. Shorted some here, 880s, adding into full size $9. Once it rejects, covered some here and covered some more here. Why here? Previous levels right here, right? And also pre-market highs. So just want to make sure I get out and don't want to get grinded up in this kind of action, squeezed all the way to the upside. There were a lot of people and a lot of shorts blowing up on the way up. I'm thankful I was not involved in that. Covered all of the short here, and this is where I start going back for some tiny size and trying to see if we can get more follow through to the downside, because eventually this stock, it's going to go back to $6, $5, $4 eventually. When is it gonna happen today? I have no idea. So that's why you gotta just play the price action. And you can see I started scaling in here and somewhere here. And once we didn't break down this VWAP level, and that's where I know, this is gonna be trouble. And that's why I got out all of it. I don't want to get stuck in this kind of headache and give up all the gains I had on the shorts, on the spikes here. So I was not involved in this, even though it was really tempting to short around $10 and later on 940s. Like when it cracked near the end of the day, I was really tempted to get a short overnight. But just because this stock has a lot of dilution, has a history of failed spikes, all the spike ended up gapping down and selling off even lower. So that's gonna be the same thing for the stock. But, it's not comfortable to hold a stock short overnight. And the overnight cost is gonna be expensive. So at the end, you can see I shorted and immediately took it off, so didn't make anything there. It would have worked out well because you can see if I had shorted around 780s like I did here, it dumped all the way to 670s after hours. But could have, should have, would have, just don't want to overtrade on this name and give up my profits over here, because I was also trading INO, and this one I definitely overtraded here. And let me talk about this. So this has been a stock that's been grinding up from $9 all the way to $15 today, and we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Today's the 6th day that's still holding up on the day, and all the shorts has just been stuck upside down in this stock. And for me, I didn't want to get stuck in that kind of action, and I wanted to wait for the stock to go red to short it. So on the front side here, I was actually longing this because Citron Research came out with a short report on INO. And if you know how this kind of Citron reports work, they're actually did by opportunities. If you know how, their tweets work. So I was actually longing here and made some very nice scalps on this. And once we start going red on the day, that's where I start getting interested in a short. And I definitely, jumped on the gun too soon, too fast, especially when I had just finished trading on the long side. This is where I gave that. This is a huge cover here. This is a cover from the short here and here. And this is where I gave back my profit from the long. So I definitely overtraded. And there's definitely a short on this, which, you can see happened over here. Started scaling in some short, covered some and adding in and started letting it work. And that's where we get the nice unwind after we actually confirmed red to green. And the stock finally went red to green after this final rejection around $15. We actually test red to green, and this time we finally break down after, holding it once, twice, twice and 3 times. The 4th time is a time that we actually had to sell off. Covered some here and covered the majority here and was all out on this, around 1330s area. And of course, I didn't catch the very bottom. I never do, right? And this is why I went back for a final, short scalp only. Didn't want to outstay because this stock has been known to, as we see now, steadily grind up again after hours. Hey guys, so today I definitely put on my short hat. There was a lot of short opportunities with the market rolling over very early on in the morning. If you look at SPY, we gave back the entire gain overnight at the open from 290 all the way down to 285. So when that happens, you heard the saying, the bulls take the stairs and the bears take the window. A lot of really fast money was made on the short side. But let's talk about some trades that I made good money on BA when they announced the PR of they are being criminally investigated, and obviously that's negative news for the stock. When you caught the news alert really fast, I just pulled the trigger to short around 130.80, and then we had a nice flush down. Covered some more here, and then man, I could have executed this a lot better. This is a really nice cover, but I wish I caught the entire flush 2 more points down. When that didn't happen, I tried to reshort the rebound. And you can see with my reshorts, even though it's smaller size, I gave back a lot. And that didn't work out. So had a nice win on the short side, but gave back about half of the profit. So, but still not bad when the money is made so fast. And the other one is RCL. This was an incredible trade until I f***ed it up when I went back. It's just the name of the game. Sometimes when you make the money really fast, I'm expecting a lot more follow through to the downside and want to add back into a winner. When that doesn't work out, I just have to cut my loss on the second trade. But the biggest trade is actually Wayfair W. So this stock has been going crazy since $100. We went straight up from 100 all the way to 134 yesterday. Up here, this is yesterday's chart. I don't want to get hit on the front side short, but when there's a chart like this, I'm looking to short the first red day. So according to my pre-market watch list I planned out before the market opens, an hour before, I want to, once the stock goes red on the day and hold beneath this previous day close level, that's my level of risk. And I want to short off that risk, knowing that we have a lot of room downside to at least 120s and even more lower down possible if we get more follow through to the downside. You can see the low of the day was 122. I caught that, but I was all out by this when this bounced. Same idea as a BA RCL trade. Yes, we can still bounce and still possibly sell off, but I need to protect my gains. I can always enter again later on. So scaled according to my risk, scaled here. The key to trading these volatile stocks is to size and scale in slowly. Like these stocks, when they jump, especially with a spread as high as W, the spreads were about 50-70 cents. You want to, scale in short slowly. So I had some starter here, added some more, and when we pop to this 128.80s and reject quickly, that's what I added to full size. And that gave me a very nice average, about 127.90s. And then covered some here just to pay myself a little bit, but I want to save the majority for this flush down all the way to 124, some more here, and then the majority was down here. You can see I added back here around 126. Should I held it for the double bottom, that would have been really nice with a re-add, but the market was starting to rally and I didn't want to give back like I did on the other 2 stocks that we talked about. But overall, this is the biggest winner on the day, and I'm really happy with my patience on this one. So maybe we'll get more from this ticker tomorrow. The other trade that's not as big, but still pretty stress-free, textbook bag holder daily chart short. You can see this is a stock that's known to be pumped up and sell off the gaps. So tiny win on this stock, but still added up really nice with the other winners on the day. So today and yesterday on Tuesday, the short sellers really got destroyed. I didn't trade CREX yesterday, but I was actually looking to short that today, but I missed it. But this was one of those low float stocks that caught a lot of short sellers off guard, from 180 ripping all the way to $5 after hours. And today, we had a brand new, I guess not really brand new, but a new low float squeezer that really caught all the short sellers off guard, and myself included, unfortunately. You can see CAPR, this is actually a non-dilution stock. It's a stock that I traded a lot of times in the past, and there's no words to describe it. I made, pretty good money, shorting from $6 all the way down to, $4. That's $2 a share, but I got way too cocky. I scaled back in way too big, and I lost everything I had made in the morning in the first trade, which was, picture perfect, but I gave back everything and then more. So this ended up being a loss, but I did not blow up though, right? Like, that's the difference. I understood that, hey, like, this stock is literally just it's not behaving like a stock that I actually want to short anymore. In hindsight, of course, I wish I can just flip long, but it's hard to do that. But this was a difficult stock, and so I'm slightly red on the day. I made back some with a few other tickers that we'll talk about, but with this, like, I just got way too cocky, added back way too big. But the losses in in comparison to what this could have been, it's actually not bad. So that's the silver lining out of this. Still a loss, no excuse, but this should have been a lot worse if I just kept on adding all the way to the top. But I recognize that this is like when a stock that's breaking new highs and holding pre-market highs and breaking new highs and just uptrending, this is not the kind of stock that you should be shorting. So the other few stocks I traded pretty well on is AMD. They had earnings. They actually sold off on the earnings, and you can see the stock tanked yesterday from 56 all the way to 52.60s. And I was long biased on the stock. I was thinking that we're gonna reclaim this 53.70s level and move on to new highs. We didn't go all the way up there. You can see I scaled some here, scaling in some more, but selling into the pushes, but got stopped out when we were really heavy and we couldn't reclaim VWAP. And then I tried again. Didn't make anything on the second trade, but the first trade was relatively easy to read. Once the stock pushes, I sell some and set my stop. And, nice little green trade on this one while I was busy fighting CAPR short. The other one that was also really nice is HTZ. So this is one of those benefits of having really fast news alerts. There were press release about HTZ potentially filing for bankruptcy, and that should be a no-brainer short. So HTZ, this is purely a momentum volatility short. Caught the alert right here around 460s and immediately tanked all the way down to 390s. I didn't get to cover, and that would have been a very nice gain. Re-added up some on the bounce and should have been a lot more patient. I was thinking the stock could eventually grind back up, and just want to be careful if I'm still short. But very nice gains on this one on HTZ Hertz. And the other one that was also really nice as well that allowed me to make back a lot of the loss on CAPR was CHK. And of course, looking at this chart now, I missed so much to the downside, but how would I know this was gonna tank all the way to $19? I didn't know. But this is another alert, news alert with a negative news. Shorted the pops around $27.50, added $28 and covered. This was about 10 minutes before the close, and I don't want to hold anything overnight. And that's why I was so quick to get out for, I guess maybe $1.50 gain. Should have been a lot bigger, but I didn't want to hold it into close, and we were kind of holding up here for a while. So, another nice gain on this. So today ended up being a small red day, but it should have been a lot worse with the way CAPR traded. So, I'm definitely, counting my blessings and gonna be a lot more careful shorting for the rest of the week and maybe next week. So trading today versus yesterday is drastically different. I went back to short CAPR again today. As you remember, yesterday I took a small loss on the stock because it was just way too strong. Today I came back with a clear mind. That loss yesterday wasn't fun, right? It's still like a loss is a loss. It's still mentally draining, however you want to think about it. But that's why you need to cut your loss and preserve your confidence. And I still come back back and traded as if it's just a brand new ticker. So I wasn't scared of the stock. I still traded it as if I would have traded any other new stock today. So I started shorting here 820s pre-market. You know, it was really early on. It was about, I guess this would have been like 4:30 a.m. my time, but the better entry would have been, you know, previous day close price about 850s. So leaving a lot of room to add, and that's why I added at the open here and added even bigger here. You can see I had a small cover here because with my starter entry here, you know, the idea is that, okay, like we're probably just gonna keep on tanking. But when I popped, you know, like literally I covered partial at the top. So that's why I was, you know, immediately added back in once that level rejected. And all these levels are prepared prior to me entering the trade, right? It's all, the planning is done beforehand. I'm not going into the trade and, you know, planning my exit and my stop loss while I'm in the trade. That's all pre-planned. Once I covered, I realized, hey, this was literally the top. I immediately added back in 780s, and then we got a nice tank all the way to, you know, $7 and eventually over here 660s. We added some on this push towards VWAP. I was hoping this time around we're gonna get straight to $6. When that didn't happen, I just covered and went on break. Because you know me, I don't like trading midday. You know, I have, you know, added back in near the end of the day with this momentum push towards 780. Notice it's the same level that I shorted, so pretty much a really stressless trade. At the end of the day, you know, covered over here at about 710 before the close. So a very much stress-free trade. You know, I'm happy about my discipline. I didn't let my loss yesterday kind of deter me from trading the stock. So, you know, I'm really happy about this trade. The second trade that I'm also really happy about is OSTK. So OSTK is one of those stocks I've traded many times in the past. I was trading this when this was in the 70s, 70. So I'm really familiar with how the stock trades. They had earnings release, but key is reading into the earnings, right? How strong is the earnings, and does it really justify this push towards $15? I was actually looking for a long on this move had it made the move after the open, so I would have longed this. But the fact that it started popping pre-market all the way to 15, you know, that changes things, right? So that's why I was short biased on this. Scaled in some just really small pre-markets. I don't want to get too big. Pre-market, it's hard to get out. And so covered some right before the open, just my pre-market size, and immediately added back on the pop here around $14. Shorted here. Cover some, covering some, adding even bigger once we start really flushing and breaking down this pre-market lows level and covering over here. And didn't catch the bottom because I didn't think it was gonna gap fill all the way down to previous day close area around $12. But, you know, missed maybe 80 cents to the downside, but overall it's still a very clean and, again, stressless free trade in comparison to yesterday. And a few other smaller trades. APT, this is the power of having Benzinga Charlie. You know, PR release, you get in a really quick 50-cent scalp, stressless trade again. So, you know, some of my best trading days are the days where, you know, I don't have to fight it. You know, I immediately jump in. I know exactly what to do. I have, you know, the right size, the right ads, and the right exits. I may not always catch the top or the bottom, but, you know, like at the end of the day, you know, I just have to stick with what I'm good at. And if I'm doing what I'm good at, then I shouldn't be too stressed out like I was yesterday. So APT, another nice long scalp. This is a long, by the way. This is not a short. This is a long scalp. And ended the day really nicely with an Amazon play with earnings. So they missed on earnings. So I had a short right here, 2,420. If you look at the 1 minute candle, I had a nice cover around $2,376. So that's how many points? I don't know. And then I re-added back some more here and then got stopped out. So didn't catch this move here. That would have been so sweet if I had catch the dump to 2, 3, 2, 4, whatever. Like, it's an expensive stock, and I, of course, have to scale down to my from my normal size and use only very small size, especially with a stock like Amazon that moved basically a couple $100 after hours with the earnings release. But overall, really nice and really happy with my trading today, and nice recovery from the loss from yesterday. This is the kind of day that I want to aim for every single day, where I don't have to fight that hard, just taking base hits. Sometimes I catch a lot of the move, but most times I don't. But at the end of the day, singles added up, and today was a very nice day. Hey guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and the bad jokes. If you want to see more day trading content, make sure to subscribe and follow me on Twitter and Instagram for more. If you'd like to trade with me daily and get my free weekend watch list and trading journal, make sure to check out the links below for more resources. Stay green, stay positive, and I'll see you guys next time.